Is it possible to beat Batman Arkham City without being seen? Today we're going to find out. Here are the rules. I can't be seen by any enemies. That includes inmates, tiger guards, and helicopters. If I get caught at any point, I'll have to restart from the last checkpoint. Subtitles have to be on so I can know when I've been spotted. Parts of the game where Batman is visibly seen for story purposes do not count. I have to engage in every combat situation, and I have to attempt to clear each section stealthily, but if it turns out to be an impossible task, then I'll be able to move on. And I'm only focusing on the Batman in this video, so no Catwoman. We start our challenge outside of the courthouse, and we have to take out at least 9 thugs to get inside to save Catwoman from Mr. Multiple Personality Disorder. My first target is the guy on the far right, staying alone in front of the barricade. I have to figure out how to take him out without getting caught by the inmates on the other side, and by this guy over here. As soon as he moves, I start to make my move, but then this dude also decides to move, and I get caught in the act, and now I have to restart. This time, I decide to survey the area to gather more information. Per usual, there's the inmate by the barricade, and not too far down the road, there's 2 guys staying over here next to the hardware store. As I'm scanning over the rest of the area, I notice a lone inmate down the road. Over here, I also notice an inmate alone next to the courtyard fence. Good thing this guy isn't as perceptive as his buddy. I went back over to the hotel and made my move on this guy, and I managed to get a takedown, but now one of the inmates was coming back this way. I had to escape quickly, but I couldn't grapple fast enough. And per usual, I would fail to get another successful takedown on this inmate for quite some time after, mainly because I would get spotted by the thugs on the other side, and I realized I was doing it wrong. The solution was to wait. First, he had to make his way down to the hardware store and hang out with this guy. Once they parted ways, I was about to make my move, but good thing I didn't because the inmate on the left does a fake out and comes back to where he was before. Maybe he forgot something. And then after more waiting, the guy on the left turns to head back over to the step, and I finally get my opening. I had to take him down before he got back to his original spot, and I managed to pull it off. When it comes to the inmate by the campaign office, I can't take him down by the car or I'll get spotted. The inmate by the fence was the easiest to take out if I could get over there before the guy turns around. After 2 hours of unsuccessful attempts and studying their movement patterns, I got the hang of things and managed to get all 3 inmates in one go without being seen. Now I have to figure out how to deal with the remaining 7. As I'm looking around making plans in my head, the helicopter on patrol flies by and I don't pay any mind. And then I see the subtitles appear, and I didn't want to believe it, but unfortunately, I've been spotted by the eyes in the sky for the first time. Now back to this point, I spent the next couple of minutes studying the movements of the last 3 mobile inmates, and I decided that my next target would be the inmate closest to me. The best opening to strike came when the guy on the top moves over to the car, and when my target moves to his original position. I had only seconds to pull this off, and to this day I don't know how that guy didn't see me. I decided that the inmate on the right was my next target, and after some careful consideration, I found that the best time to pull off the takedown would be when the guy on the left makes his way up to the steps, cause that'll give me enough time and distance to take out my target. I figured that this car would be the best spot for cover to set up for the final takedown. Once he turned his back, I made my move, but apparently I was too loud. I wanted to see if getting closer would make a difference, but it didn't. This doesn't count as a failure, because there is no way to deal with the last 4 with stealth. In the courthouse, taking out the gunman is the only thing I can do without being seen. This mission is supposed to be completed with stealth, so there's nothing much to say here, but the important thing is that we gain access to a valuable gadget for this challenge. Now I gotta head over to the steel mill. Even though it's the beginning of the game and there's not a lot of people around, I still have to be aware of my surroundings. Gliding more to the left will keep me oblivious to the thugs on the rooftop. I was beginning to descend near this group of inmates, but I got saved by the grapple prompt and I reached a save point. I decided to continue left, and I don't know how this guy didn't see me. I wanted to get to the next tower, but the inmate was heading in that direction, so I went to go around, and I was spotted by him anyway. After a couple more attempts of this strategy, it seemed like going left was not the way to go, so I decided to become conservative and went to the right. I stayed near the perimeter wall to keep contact at a minimum. Once I got past this inmate, I was in the clear. Now in the steel mill, taking out the gunman in the boiler room was a piece of cake. I can't imagine a scenario where I would fail here. I'm 6 inmates away from rescuing the doctor, and I'm going to cut that down to 4 after this double takedown. I have to take him out next to keep my low profile. After I take out this inmate on the lower floor, my next move is to get in the office, but that didn't work out. To lure him out of the office, I had to make a scene. So I threw a battering at the fire extinguisher to make a makeshift smoke bomb, and I used the commotion to take down this inmate. Now that he's out in the open, I can take him out and complete the mission. In order to get through this predicament, I gotta get a little creative, and this is where the smoke pellet comes in handy. Under the cover of smoke, I can combat take down each inmate and they won't even know what hit them. It's the best gadget for crowd control. Back outside, filled with Joker raids, I make my way over to the GCPD. I get reminded that this can't be a 100% unseen playthrough. I took out the guy under the archway first, then the inmate across from Cranko Toys. Next is the thug over by the payphones, but a helicopter catches me in the act. And this wouldn't be the last time that it happened, so now I have to keep an eye out on the skies for potential aerial interference. After I put this thug to sleep, I made my way over to the inmates by the door. I saw the helicopter coming out of the corner of the screen, and I scurried over to the grates. With the coast clear, I can creep my way over to the two inmates and get a double takedown. The GCPD Predator mission introduces heart monitors that will tip off the other inmates, so I need to act fast. I can take down two inmates before Penguin makes my presence known. This thug made the mistake of isolating himself underneath my nose. The heart monitors can be used to lure inmates to a certain location for a trap.
There's someone over here! Man down!
To keep with the premise of the challenge, I kept myself hidden from the surrendering thug until I was close enough to interrogate him. And I definitely didn't fail this challenge. Nope, not even once. Now I gotta travel across the city to get to the museum in the Bowery. I was able to glide past the inmates patrolling Ivy's lair, and I used a descending momentum to stay undetected from the thugs on the Gotham Casino rooftop. Park Row has beefed up security since the last time I was here. Over here, there's a group of 8 inmates on a rooftop facing every direction, and further south, there's 3 inmates on another rooftop facing the direction I need to go. To avoid all that trouble altogether, I chose to go around them and headed in the direction of the courthouse, and this route had no inmates to account for. I have to take out 6 thugs to get into the museum. 1 on the right side, 3 at the door, and 2 more on the left side. I went after the thug by himself first and took him out unnoticed. Next I went over to the other side and I see that the 2 on the far side moved over some. This might be a little risky, so I'm going after the guy below me. I made my descent and avoid detection, and then I started to take down and someone spotted me. This time I went for a new approach and targeted the inmates on the left since they go on the move. Once he turned around, I dropped down and took him out. I have to move quickly because I need to take out the other inmate before he passes the tree, or he'll be too close to the others and I'll be spotted. But all my work was in vain anyways, because this dude decides to check over his shoulder. This time I was able to pull it off. Now with the lingering thugs out of the picture, I can focus on the group by the entrance. I have to tiptoe a bit to get to the right angle to drop the pellet, and all that is left is to finish the job.
What the hell?
Penguin does a little trolling, and now I have to disable a couple jammers. The first jammer is just around the corner, so at least that's a plus. As I'm deciding my plan of action, I get spotted by the thugs. I thought maybe it was the angle, so I approached them to the side, and what you know, the same thing happened again. Before I scratched this mission from the challenge, I tried one last option, and I got on top of the air duct and it worked. The obvious answer is to use a smoke pellet, but the execution was still in question. I got the first one no problem, then the second guy also no problem, but I whiffed on the third guy and I alerted an inmate somewhere in the area. With the smoke clearing and bullets flying this way, it's safe to say that this was a failure. Attempt number 2 went a little better. First guy, again, no problem. Then I got a double takedown, but for some reason, I didn't get the takedown option and I countered the thug instead, and it went downhill from there. After more failed attempts, I honestly thought that it couldn't be done. The smoke pellet wasn't giving me enough time to take them all down, and the inmates on the other rooftop were on high alert. But then the RNG gave me a break.
What the hell?
The next jammer was being guarded by 4 armed inmates, which makes this a miniature predator mission. To kick things off, I went after the thug that was furthest from everybody else. The thug in the corner was my next target. I should have dropped down and I would have been fine, but I deserved this. Then what followed was many more failures because I'm a no good barnacle head. What was supposed to be an easy 3-minute quickie became a 2-hour marathon of disappointment and frustration, just waiting for something to come out of it. What was supposed to happen is after I take him out, I come over here and take him out before Penguin alerts them of my presence, wait till they separate and pick them off one by one. The last jammer's in the subway, and that means I have to figure out how to get down there without being seen by the inmates walking around. After a while, I just said screw it and made my descent. I'm guessing the inmate didn't care or wasn't paying attention because I was right in front of him. Before I could get into the subway, I had to take out some inmates. The first one being next to the venom container. The next one was going to be determined by which direction they were headed. And that guy went further back. After I take out the last guy above ground, I head below ground and get a double takedown. Use the smoke pellet to take out these three. I made it to the final jammer and I wasted no time getting through it. First guy went out the vanilla way. Immediately after the first thug went down, I made my way over to the gargoyle above an unsuspecting inmate walking underneath.
Patience, you're running out of people. Let's see what runs out first.
Then the next two inmates got taken out by my favorite way, a boosted remote battering that knocks him off the platform. And the last guy went out by a drop attack, then a floating ground takedown. Getting out of the subway was going to prove to be difficult due to a large amount of inmates in the area, but I have to try to see how bad it was going to be, and I got spotted almost immediately. On the second try, I was able to get around this corner undetected. I wanted to get to the fire escape stairs, and I did the smart thing by checking my surroundings before I made any moves. After the thug had passed and the coast was clear, I made my way up to my new vantage point. Just like before, I have to take out some thugs before I can get into museum, but this time it was going to be a little more challenging. The thing is, the thugs are too spaced apart for the smoke pellet to affect the group, and whoever isn't affected will see me. I went to the ground to see if that would change something. I tried from the right side, didn't work. I tried from the left side, and it looked like it worked, but the thugs on the right proved me wrong. I even tried from a different angle. It looked like I got them all, but the inmate in front was not phased. If I can't use the smoke pellet to its full capacity, then I need to find another way. So I went with the remote battering. My strategy was to use it as another form of crowd control to corral the inmates into a tighter formation. That strategy worked perfectly, and now all I have to do is take care of the rest. But there was a problem. The takedown prompt never appeared, so now I have to do this all over again, and I have to hope that whatever happened last time was just an unlucky bug.
What the hell?
Body armor or not, no one is immune to the smoke pellet.
What the hell?
The Armory Predator mission had a lot of misfortune for me. I waited too long to take down this guy. I took down this thug at the right place but wrong time. I don't even know what to call this. Did you know that the goggles can see through the smoke? Well, I had to find out. And I forgot that I didn't have the heat signature upgrade yet. But I assure you that I'm good at this game. I quickly took out two inmates during the initial dialogue. The second inmate on the first floor was my next target. I wanted to catch him before he found the body because the other inmates would get alerted, but they were already tending to the body upstairs, so this inmate didn't have any backup coming. The inmates running in a straight line created a perfect opportunity to take out the last guy in the line. The other inmates were in the animation, so they weren't going to turn around. I took down the next guy while the thug in front ran to the body, and the last one went down soon after. At the manhole, I used a smoke pellet to sneak behind the gunman.
Hell!
Oracle.
And I used another one to take out these guys.
Some kind of smoke.
There's a group of thugs hanging out in this room that I can battering launch into the water. The first four were easy to get, but it took me 4.5 minutes to take the final two out because they were too far away from the edge. The Wonder City Predator mission is the next room over. The first thug was a gimme that I got with an inverted takedown. The next thug I went after was the one holding Fiona at gunpoint. I went after this inmate by himself in the corner after his partner abandoned him. While everyone was distracted by the Joker, I went to take down the thug with the backpack jammer. Now it's down to 2. Batman wanted to take the last guy out in style. The second Subway Predator mission was much like the first, except that they're Joker thugs now instead of penguins, and the jammer's portable now. Most of the inmates got yeeted off the platforms by batarangs, except for the backpack jammer thug and the last guy. I didn't know until this challenge that the shield enemies were immune to smoke pellets. Quincy Sharp needs my help, but I can't help him if Batman decides to climb up the bridge and gets me spotted. This time I decided to go the route that I went to get back into the museum, and I waited to see if this inmate was going to move or not before I made my move. And of course, as soon as I did that, he starts walking, and he probably saw me, but I wasn't sure, so I checked, and he definitely did. Traveling through the air wasn't gonna work out, so I went the long way this time, and I kept a low profile by sneaking along the glass ceiling. Once this inmate makes his way over the bridge, I can grapple to that building to start playing my next move. I went to a lower vantage point to get a better position. I did both double takedowns successfully, and I knockout slammed the last guy. The Joker age cure is inside the GCPD, but I can't get in until I take out the inmates by the door. I have an idea of a strategy that might work to take them down. It starts with a remote battering, and I have to hit a thug with it, and the logical choice is the one in front. Now with that done, I need to get somewhere quickly because they're coming to my location. One eager beaver steps up, and then another one. Both get launched by a full speed remote battering to the ground below, and then I got lucky because the armored thug walks up and I launch him too. Now I have to bring them back down so I can do the process all over again. Now I'm gonna go back up to the gargoyle to watch them run, and nothing's happening. I went over to the back corner to see if they would prefer this spot because the location seems to matter for that to trigger, and I got 2 of them to bite. I got both shields to my left and 2 unarmed on my right, and I'm going after them first. My biggest worry with this is that those 2 will react to it, but they seem to be unaware of it. I got one with a combat takedown, and I want to take down the other, and then there was movement coming my way. Now I want them to come back over here so I can finish this mission, and I got one to bite. Location does matter in these situations. I went around this corner, and he runs after me, and so does that guy. I'm gonna try this again because I really want them to come down here so I can do my original strategy again, and it seemed to work. And now they're split. Shield thugs can be taken out unseen, but if I disarm them with a remote battering, that'll make them unarmed, and then I can drop a smoke pellet and I can take them out. Now I want him to come back up here so I can finish the mission with the same way I started it. Even though Mr. Freeze knows that I'm in the room with him, I still want to see if I can defeat him without being seen during the fight.
Try to take him on in a straight up fight. He's too powerful. Okay, data's ready.
Watch. Get it off me. Oh.
After I take care of the snipers trying to assassinate Vicky Vale, I gotta go back to the steel mill, and I have to avoid the snipers in the process. Based on his laser sight distance, I'm out of that guy's range, so I don't have to pay him any attention. If I can make it past those 2, I'll be home free. And since both of them have their backs turned, that's more than guaranteed to happen. The route I originally took to get in is unavailable, so I have to take out the inmates over there, but I failed before I could start. There's an inmate that patrols this little platform between the points of interest that I didn't account for, but with him gone, I can proceed with the mission. The first guy to take down is 100% always this sniper. Then the second guy I went for is the sniper on the lower tower. The inmate I wanted to go for next was heading into that opening, but I didn't realize that there was someone behind me. This time I went for the inmate leaning on the rail. Then I got this guy after a whiff. My next target was this inmate by himself in the corner that had great baiting potential, and it paid off just like I expected. The only ones left are these 2 guarding the entrance, and their fate will be decided by a smoke pellet. The one on the right looked up at me, and I hesitated because I thought I had been spotted, but I went down anyways to try to salvage what time I had left. I took this guy down right away, and I watched helplessly as the other thug regained consciousness. I made an effort to catch him off guard, but he already saw me, so this time I went down right away.
Some kind of smoke.
Now inside, I can use another smoke pellet to take down these 3 inmates. To get into this room, I will have to glide kick through the window, but obviously I can't do that, so I'm going to use a remote battering instead. I'm going to use them to launch the thugs over to the window to make a huddle so I can drop a smoke pellet that will affect the entire group. It took a couple tries, but it was starting to take shape. Once these 2 have been properly placed, I can drop a smoke pellet and hope for the best.
Some kind of smoke.
The smelting chamber predator mission was a lot easier now than before. I just kept chucking remote batterings at the inmates by the gap where the stairs used to be. I got almost half the inmates in this location alone. The other half went out by the office off this ladder gap. 2 of them were launched off while the other one fell off going up the ladder. The last guy got a battering to the head and a ground takedown to finish him off. The sniper in the boiler room won't allow me to use most gadgets, but once he finishes his sweep, I can use a freeze grenade to keep him in place, and it'll give me enough time to make it over there to take him down. After I successfully grabbed the master control program, I took down the 2 snipers in front of the processing center. The only thing I can do stealthily in the processing center was to save the political prisoners being held at gunpoint. Back in Wonder City, I don't know what's up with this specific gargoyle, but I got caught immediately by the tiger guards once I got on. It happened more than once. My initial strategy was to take down the 2 guard in the elevator. The first time didn't work out. I tried a second time and got a similar result. So I decided to save those 2 and I focused on taking out the other guards. I managed to get a majority of them during Strange's monologue. I've been following this guy for a couple seconds, and of course as soon as I get him, the sniper goes on the move. I panicked because I didn't know if he was coming this way, but luckily he was going the other way, so I made my move on him and I took him out. I took down 5 guards before my whereabouts were announced to the rest. I wanted to take out those 2 at that second, but I didn't know where the 3rd one was. It didn't take long for him to show himself, and I took him out swiftly. Now that there's 2 left, I can use a smoke pellet to finish this mission in total secrecy. The good thing about the observation deck is that I can glide past the guards, but the bad news is that I can't get near them. So I went with the tried and true method of smoke pellet combat. I took out the gunman first, then I went after the guards with the stun sticks, but the armored guard interrupted the double takedown, so they were just stunned, and at that point, the smoke was almost gone, and so were my chances. This time I went for an angled approach. I immediately took down the first pair, then I went after the gunman, and after the last pair of guards were taken down, the last one standing was the armored guard, and I choked and used the wrong quick gadget. This time, I locked in. After making it inside Wonder Tower, I immediately go for the guard on the left. Then I went after the guy near Strange's office. I caught this guy alone outside with the ledge takedown. My next target was the guard by the ladder. I whiffed the takedown and he caught me. That was gearing up to be the perfect run, and for the next 3 hours, I failed constantly, mainly due to Hugo Strange alerting the guards in my location. So not only do I have to keep myself hidden from the tiger guards, I have to keep an eye on where Hugo Strange is at all times. So with this newfound knowledge, I went on the attack, and I went for the guard closest to the floor grate, and then I went after the guard under Hugo's office. I went upstairs to have a better read on Strange's position, and I found the guard by himself. I almost got caught in the act by him, but I went around the other way before he got suspicious, and I took him down. Soon after, another guard came over to investigate the situation, and it looked like he was by himself. The others were on the opposite side of the room, so I made my move. I could see just enough of Strange in the corner, and once he started moving, I went in for the finish. I didn't want to stay in the same spot, so I went back downstairs. It seemed like I was going to get another one, but Strange alerted them of the fallen guard, so that opportunity vanished. As I waited, I saw the location of the last 2 guards. One was going to the right and the other was going to the left, and both were eventually going to come back down at some point, so I just waited here until it happened. And the first one to do so came down on the left. I waited a little to see which direction he was headed before I went on the move. Good thing I did, because he was coming this way. Hugo was on the other side of the room, and the other guard was too, so I had a little bit of time to take this guy out. I hesitated and went back behind the boxes, and I waited for him to start walking again, and I went in for the takedown and went back into hiding. The last guard eventually came downstairs, and there was no sign of Hugo, so I checked to see where he was, and after I saw that he was on the other side of the office, I went in for the takedown, and this mission is finally finished. We've reached the climax of the challenge outside of Monarch Theater. I have to take down the snipers in the surrounding area. I went after the guy next to the Ace billboard first, then I went after the sniper on this lower strip between the buildings. The guy across from the bar was my next target, but as I'm moving in on him, I get spied by someone else. On my second try, I did the opposite, and I started at the front and worked my way to the back. The sniper underneath the Riddler gargoyle was my first target. Then I went over to the sniper a building over. After that, I circled around and took out the sniper next to the water tower. The last inmate to take care of on the left side was this guy by the bar. I took down the sniper by the Ace billboard before I went down to take out the sniper on this horizontal beam. Then there were 2 left, this thug in front of the billboard and then the closest one to the theater. The final 2 by the door were going to be tricky to get. They're 2 spaced apart to get with a single pellet, so my plan was to use it to distract one while I took care of the other, but the one I went after spotted me coming down. I tried going in from behind, but that failed. I tried using the remote battering method, and the snipers weren't fooled by that either. At this point, I didn't know what to do with them, so I resorted to repeating the same failed strategies I had done before to see if I could RNG my way through it, but it never worked. They're programmed to spot me if I come to a certain distance, and no matter what I throw at them, they'll always find my exact location. So I decided to do one final Hail Mary, and I dropped the smoke pellet right in the middle, and I was shocked to see their lack of a reaction, so I jumped on the opportunity and went down to take them down. And there you have it. You can beat Batman Arkham City without being seen. Thank you for spending your time with me, and have fun, be safe, and be smart. See you later.